This is the ABC&D of Boogie. I'm Dave Green.
This is Charlie Watts. You're watching Artisan News.
Well, we were doing a week at this club in Paris, the Duc de Lombard, and it was actually being recorded every evening by the local radio station. And then we heard the recording sometime later, and we thought it sounded really good, and it was subsequently decided to make a CD out of the 5 nights. It was about, how many hours was it? About 15 hours of music or something. We had to listen to a lot of stuff to decide what we were going to put out, but it worked out fine in the end.
It's basically one night with a couple of changes.
Yeah, it came down to one night in the end, yeah.
Not really.
Not really, no. We decided pretty much on the stuff we liked.
I think after listening to a few goes at it, we never got that passionate about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all very much of a quality, if you like. It was really Axel and Ben that had final say, because sometimes, and you could hear it when they said it, one of his vocals you didn't like, but there's one, you didn't, the changes, because we don't rehearse, and we don't know what songs are coming up. And there was one song which I thought was great, actually, but the change...
Such a night.
Yeah, we didn't get the changes.
It didn't quite work out. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all. We just changed a couple of songs.
Yeah.
It is.
It was just a great week. I mean, we were there for 5 nights, and we had
Best
a ball.
memory, what, of the club? Oh, I remember the hotel more than anything.
Yeah.
And Hillary.
Yeah. No, we had a ball like that. It was great. And it's great for only one. These days to play in one place for a week is pretty much a rarity.
Yeah, it used to be common.
So it's great. You get set up and you get a nice feeling, and you come in. You come in the next night, next 2 nights, 3 nights, and all the stuff is there, and you just come on the bandstand and play, and it's great. It makes you feel relaxed, and the sound was good. It was a nice place to play in, and it comes across on the album, I think. I've known Charlie all my life. We were neighbours from the age of 5 years old, and
our parents were friends.
Yeah,
really,
we were friends. So really, it was like family, and so we grew up together, went to the same school together, and discovered jazz together, and went on from there. Yeah.
It's music.
Well, it does. It relates. Yeah, of course it does. I mean, one of the first 78 records I bought when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, was Mead Lux Lewis' Honky Tonk Train Blues.
Oh, really? I didn't
Which
know
is
that.
it was on the other side of a trio record with Jess Stacey and Gene Krupa.
Yeah.
And
which you still love,
which I still love. A thing called Barrel House, which has got a wonderful bass solo by Israel Crosby on that record.
True.
A very young teenage Israel Crosby. But that was the first Boogie Woogie record that I actually heard.
And I had a 10-inch Mead Lux Lewis album. With, Louis Belson on the drums, just the 2 of them. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's very much part of our early days of listening to the music,
I mean, when we were young, it was very much you had to have all these. You had to have these albums just to learn what they were. What New Orleans sounded like, what Dexter Gordon sounded like. So you'd get, it became very much personalities when we were kids, wasn't it? You learnt all these people, You had to get a Coleman Hawkins record to learn how he played. He played with him in later life.
Yeah, I did.
But you had to have them just to hear, the styles really.
Mm. Yeah.
Well, most of the time we're having a good time. If you can hear and that, it's a fun band to play with.
It really is.
It's fun music, and it's a lot of, and they're very good. All three of these. I mean, he's fantastic, and Ben is
and you
is
are.
great. And Axel is just, well, he's probably the best exponent of pure boogie woogie, I think, in the world. There aren't many of them that play. Well, you have to listen a lot with this. It's a much sort of more inside sort of feel. It's much closer to jazz thing. Yeah, I mean, for a start, you got two grand pianos. There's hardly any amplification, an acoustic jazz playing bass player. So it's a bit different, but it's the same physical thing. It's really the volumes you play at is different. We have never rehearsed. We don't.
Yeah.
It's
very spontaneous music, I
mean, it's not rocket science music.
Yeah.
You don't need charts. You just have to listen to each other.
It's blues. It's blues, really.
Yeah.
And
Ben, will just call them, and Axel just plays an intro, and you come in how you think and hope it's going to go.
Mm.
And that's part of the fun of it, really. And then if you do it enough, there's little bits that happen. If they work, they happen, again. So
yeah.
He lives in that world.
No, I don't think it's been lost. I mean, I think that's the essence of jazz music, really.
I mean, most jazz players
music in the moment.
Most jazz players,
really.
and they'll just call a song, but they play.
There's a repertoire of songs as a jazz player that you're supposed to know, and then you can play with complete strangers and just play that song, and you get a connection, and it goes from there.
You just have to be sensitive enough to know.
Yeah,
when you play it with someone who's playing it one way, you have to adapt to that. Or you take the head and you become they adapt to you.
Yeah.
But it's usually from our the bass and drums point of view, you like to help whoever it is, and you just you adapt to what they're. Because they might play the same song, well, they will play the same song totally differently. I don't know, but I just know Jack White as someone who I've met and played with a few times. He's a very talented guy. I don't know if he does. I don't know. There will be, but when, I don't know, because these guys work whenever some people ask them. He was playing last night in Germany, and Axel's flying in this afternoon, and he's just finished playing in Germany. So, if it works out next month, we'll do something then. If it doesn't, we'll have to do it the month after.
I mean, since the album, we've been doing a lot of touring, in periods.
We usually
like
work
a couple of weeks in March,
couple of weeks.
Yeah. And we might have something later this year, so it depends how we can work it out, Not at this stage. If we did do another record, it'd probably be another live one, I would think.
I suppose. I don't know. We hadn't thought of that.
We haven't thought of that. We just concentrating on this one at the moment.
I mean, to be honest, we didn't plan for this to be an album.
Yeah,
It was
really.
just somebody played it to us. Well, played us a few nights, and we sort of said, well, let's see what happens with that. And actually, Eagle Rock said we'd like to do it, so that was the spur to carry on. Otherwise, we'd have just left it in the cupboard, along with everything else.
Yeah, it would have been there, yeah.
We all got different things. For me, that's my life. So if we're going to do a lot of things, the Stones. I don't mean playing necessarily. I mean there's lots of things to do to what they call it, celebrate 50 years of being together. So there's a lot. So we'll be working together doing things. Whether we actually get together playing is another thing. We ain't got that far yet. But and if indeed all that's done by end of November or whatever, end of December, and Dave is free on the beginning, and Axel, then we'll do some more of the ABC&D of Boogie Woogie. So I don't know. It's just we'll do this bit first. I wanted this to be a bit longer, really, but we never got asked to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
And when we finish, someone's going to say, "Why didn't you come to Chicago?"
Yeah, exactly.
And you say, "Well, why didn't you ask us?" It's always the same. We'd all say yes, and then we'd go to St. Louis, and we'd see.
Yeah.
I mean, we were asked to do this swing time dancing over the road, and then we got offered this, and then we got offered something else we didn't want to do, and so we'll see. And then we got offered more, but Ben has to go back, so it's like one of those. He does.
Very early teens. We were really about, I would say, 14 or something like that. 14 years old. Could we? No, maybe a bit older. Because I was saying earlier on, there was a skiffle craze in London in the late 50s, and I got involved in that, like a homemade band, out of school and stuff, And that was a T-chest bass and a washboard and guitar. And so I started about the age of 13 or 14, and then Charlie, I think, got when did you get your first drum kit? That was about
13.
13, yeah.
So it was
around
the same
that period.
time.
It was around that period, yeah.
And I was in another skiffle band, as they called it.
Yeah. So then we got together. Then we actually both
played in a jazz band.
A jazz band, yeah.
16, wasn't it?
16, yeah. A local jazz band.
And since then, we've always followed each other in the newspaper, really. Because I used to know where he was playing through,
And I kind of knew where he was doing most of this stuff.
It wasn't anything when I joined the Rollins. It was like another band. I was in about 3 bands when I joined the Rolling Stones. They didn't have any work.
Yeah, by that time we weren't.
And
really,
he was.
we weren't really in
so
touch.
when
then,
was
were we?
that? That was
63.
That was 63. See, he was really in the jazz
I
world.
was.
And I was in a what they call R&B world. Eric Clapton,
so we both. When
somebody's whispering to you.
Yeah, when we
behind.
left the jazz club, jazz band, we kind of went our own separate ways in that period, about 61, 62.
Yeah.
And then Charlie joined the Stones, and I turned pro later on that year. Left my day job. Then I went to France for 6 weeks to get jazz gig in France. Then I came back and started working at the jazz clubs in London. Gradually. By that time it was 64. Then Charlie was established with the Stones by then, and I just got on the jazz scene in London. So then we met occasionally over the years, but then until Charlie got the big band together in '85.
We've been together quite a bit since then.
Since then, yeah.
Because of all the projects that I've got
Yeah.
going. Because I only ever asked Dave to do them.
It's great for us to play
Yeah.
at this stage of our lives, after knowing each other
Yeah.
all our lives, and growing up and discovering the
And
music.
then
It's
being asked
fantastic.
to do this is just
It's
fun.
It's just fun, absolute fun. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. It's made up. I mean, we used to know each other. Yeah, it was made up. I mean, it was. I mean, obviously, you knew when their new record come out, you'd avidly listen to everything. Oh, another good one. Yeah. But yeah, no, it wasn't really a rivalry at all. In fact, the thing is, both bands were working so much, you never really had time to think about things like that because you were off somewhere else. It's during the period Dave was talking about, which is the 60s, both him and me were working so we never saw each other. I used to do our year would be, we'd do a tour of England, go to LA, record an album, do a tour of America, go to Australia, come back to Europe, go around there, back to England, tour. It was endless for a good many years. So we were always working, really.